nobody on this road that can save your soul. Almost lost control now. Tell me what you need in a friend and now. Pray that we endure to the end again. I'm just saying that I'm here for you. When the world turn against you, I'ma be with you. Got my sword in my hand, you can count on me. I won't run and hide, fight mightily.
Waiting on your O.F.I. See the Jacob, I'm the apple of my father's eye. I learned the truth for who I was and it made me cry. If I don't keep the laws of Yah, then I'm gonna die. Living curses, but I'm edifying in my verses. Prepare the hearses for the heathens who be steady.
Khan. First and foremost, want to give all praises, glory, and honor to the Most High God, Yahweh. We do so in the name of his only begotten Son, Hamashiach, O.F.I, to the 12 tribes that are scattered abroad. Greetings, the hopeful elect, building up in the spirit, abounding and waxing mightier and mightier in the truth, to the perfect coming, the second coming of our Lord and Savior, Hamashiach, O.F.I, who cracked the sky, thousands of chariots, and to deliver us from the hand of our oppressors, our captives, as thus so say the prophets and the word of the Lord. Tonight, I have a question for everybody. Do you hate your parents? Some of you got to consider, do you hate your parents? Right? We're going to get into it tonight because a lot of people hate their parents. And a lot of parents hate their children. Right? But we see in the law, statutes, and commandments that you're commanded to love your parents. A lot of y'all hate your parents, not even in just your actions, in your words, your attitude, how you deal with the parents, how, the time that you don't spend with them. But we're going to examine Sirach, the 3rd chapter, right? Get into it. We're going to examine Sirach, the 3rd chapter, and we're going to talk about it tonight. So jumping off, Sirach chapter 3 and verse 1. Hear me, your father, O children, and do it thereafter, that ye may be saved. For the Lord hath given the father honor over the children, and hath confirmed the authority of the mother over the son. Now, we want to put this in proper context. If you have a parent that's not in the truth, which I'm strongly led to believe most of us have parents that are not in the truth, sometimes it's a tough battle to balance it out, right? To honor your father and your mother so their days may be long on the earth, but that doesn't mean that you love your father or your mother above the Most High and Yahweh, right? And that's something that you have to really think about and think in terms of how to balance that out. Because we even see the teachings of Yahweh. I'm going to get this real quick. The book of Luke, chapter 12 and verse 53. The father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother, the mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, right? So when you think about that, Salakia, so when you think about that, going back into it, it's showing you that there's going to be some times, there's going to be some turmoils in the sense of building relationships with your parents, right? Now, it's not a thing where you're supposed to love your father or your mother more than Yahweh Shai, right? More than the Most High God, right? Let me get this real quick. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 10, and verse 37, and it reads, He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. So we have to understand these teachings to keep things in their proper context. Now, you have to honor your father and your mother, but that doesn't mean that you put your father and your mother above the Most High. So if you have parents that are not in the truth, You still have to be respectful and loving to them according to the scripture. And there's a way to go about that that's not in any way, shape, or form saying if your parent is telling you to damn eat pork, that you say, you know what? The scriptures say, honor my father and mother. Kind of just got to go through it. Hey, let me get the bacon. It's not what it's saying. If your father and mother is telling you, look, hey, we have such and such event on the Shabbat. I expect you to be here. Well, my mom, it's my dad. It's my dad. It's his birthday. I gotta go honor my father. I gotta give my father just due. That will be taking the word of God out of context. So you're not supposed to honor your father and mother above what the Most High God requires of you in His law. So the way that you honor your father and your mother is that you follow the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High God. You have faith in the Mashiach woman like God. So let's get back to it real quick. Now, whoso honoreth his father maketh an atonement for his sin. So let's get this right. When you think about all of the iniquity, all of the transgressions, all of the charges that you have on your record that you've committed, right? When you think about the long list of sins that you've racked up over decades, definitely want to start blotting some of them transgressions out to create part of Yahweh through His grace and through His mercy. You want to do as much as you can do to blot out those sins. And it literally, we see right here, whoso honoreth his father maketh an atonement for his sin. Let's go into this word atonement. So when we go into the word atonement, reparation for a wrong or injury, right? Reparation for a wrong or injury. She wanted to make atonement for her husband's behavior. So it goes into correction, right? It goes into a reconciliation. It goes into repairing, restoring, right? You want to be restored back to a place of mercy. You know, you don't want to be out here damn shaming your parents. Now, once again, like both of my parents aren't in the truth, but it's my responsibility to be that light even unto my parents and to love them according to right? I plead with my mother, you know, through my actions. My father, I'm still working on it. You know what I mean? I definitely don't go visit him as much as I should in his old age and things of that nature. And that goes into, you know, honoring your parents, right? Helping taking care of them and things of that nature. But reading on. And he that honoreth his mother is as one that layeth up treasure. Whoso honoreth his father shall have joy of his own children. So that's even going into one of the rewards of honoring your mother and your father, of being able to have joy unto your own children. Now that could go into, you know, the generations of your children, you know, your grandchildren, being able to raise them up. It could even directly go into you being able to, how do I say this? Because a lot of us, or some of us, I speak for myself, have been in relationships when we're in the world that maybe the relationship with your then significant other, your so-called child's father, your so-called child's mother, might not have been relationships that were healthy. You know, you may have ended on bad terms. You may have ended on, you know, you're not speaking. There may be certain turmoils. May have been a custody battle. It may have been all different types of situations and scenarios that led up to you not being able to be around your children or in your children's life as much as you would or would not have liked to, right? And so and I say would or would not have liked to because we have to be honest, man. There are a lot of people who just don't want to be in their children's life. Everybody's situation isn't because you got this crazy baby mom who won't let you see your children, or you got this crazy baby father, so-called, who won't let you see your children. every situation doesn't fit those parameters. There's a lot of parents who just neglect their children by reason of choice, and that's definitely a wicked spirit, because we see the scriptures tell us as parents that we have to care for our children. Now, getting back to the point, and he that honoreth his mother is as one that layeth up treasure. Whoso honoreth his father shall have joy of his own children, and when he maketh his prayer, he shall be heard. So this is directly saying that your prayers can be hindered by the way that you treat your parents. And this is a lesson for all children, right? Because we all are children of our parents. Get that? Every one of you is a child. Now, honestly, too, on another fold, and a higher fold, it also goes into how we honor our Heavenly Father. Because what you do here on earth is a direct reflection of the spirit that you're moving in or not moving in when it comes to your discipline, your diligence, and your servitude to Yahweh. So there's a similitude in terms of on a small level, right? As far as we know that our physical parents, we know that our physical parents aren't on the level of our Heavenly Father by any shape or by any notion, right? Lack of word. Moving on. He that honoreth his father shall have a long life, and he that is obedient unto the Lord shall be a comfort to his mother. Now, sometimes being in this truth, your presence is a straight discomfort to your mother. It's a straight vexation of spirit to your father. So how do you manage these things, right? You have a father, you have a mother who aren't walking according to righteousness, right? Do you still openly rebuke them in the spirit of hatred and frustration? Or do you find ways to let your light shine, right? You find ways to be gentle, right? I want to get this quick precept that comes to mind, right? It's the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 5, Salakia. Book of 2 Timothy, 1 Timothy, Salakia, chapter 5, verse 1. Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren, the elder women as mothers, the younger as sisters with all purity. Now, the reason why I went here through the Spirit, Lord, was to show you the care and the respect that you still have to have, even in correcting, your mother or your father, right? Even in correcting your mother and father in their folly, you have to do it in a respectful manner. Sometimes it's hard because we have this zeal by Shem Yahushai being in the truth. And it's like, look, I'm going to show you, Mom. I'm going to show you, Dad. But at the end of the day, we still have to move with compassion. We have to move in a respectful manner. We have to honor our father and mother, right? And a lot of time that goes into, I'm going to get this Proverbs 15:1 real quick. It says, Proverbs 15:1, a soft answer, right? A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. A lot of situations go left real fast because how you talk to them. And I've definitely been guilty of this. I'm still working on this in terms of making sure you control your speech. You control your tongue. The book of James teaches us in terms of how the tongue, right, is like a little rudder, basically, a fiery leash that is hard to contain, right? Which is in the book of James real quick. The book of James, chapter 3:3. And this is in the MSG. A bit in the mouth of a horse controls the whole horse. A small rudder on a huge ship in the hands of a skilled captain sets a course in the face of the strongest wind. A word out of your mouth may seem of no account, but it can accomplish nearly anything or destroy it. It only takes a spark, remember, to set off a forest fire. A careless and wrongly placed word out of your mouth can do that. By our speech, we can ruin the world, turn harmony to chaos, throw mud on a reputation, send the whole world up in smoke, and go up in smoke with it. Smoke right from the pit of hell. Think about that, right? Think about that in terms of your communication when it comes to dealing with your parents, right? And we're going to get even a part of this precept says even talks about if they're understanding things. Now, your parent not in the truth, that means their understanding has fallen because they're walking in sin, they're walking in ignorance. And a lot of our parents have been indoctrinated in the ways of lies and the ways of the doctrines of Christianity, Islam, and these different religious schools of thoughts that have, separated them from serving the true and living God, Yahweh. But they don't understand that in their mind. The Most High has not blessed them in the sense of opening up their understanding yet. Now, does that mean that everyone will come to that understanding? No, we know that's not. Does that mean that every parent won't come to that understanding? Of course, that's not true. So it's your job and it's your responsibility to be that light and to contend for the faith, even when it comes to your parents. And you have to find crafty, and let me say this more, you have to deal wisely. You have to use wisdom. Every approach doesn't work for everybody. And that's something that in this truth and in my walk, I'm definitely beginning to learn. You have to use different fish. Different bait with different fish. Even in the terms of that analogy, right? Sometimes when you're fishing, you may use an actual fish to catch a large one. Sometimes when you're fishing, you may use artificial bait. Sometimes you may use live meat, your worms, crawfish, different types of bait. I'm not like an avid fisher or anything of that nature. I'm not proclaiming like I just fish all the time. Basically, I only caught a couple fish in my life, right? But it still doesn't change the penalty. So even when we're going and when we're dealing with our parents, you have to deal from a place of honor and respect. Once again, by no means are we teaching that if your parents are telling you to break the law in the Most High God, that you break the laws in the Most High God. But reading on. He that feareth the Lord will honor his father and will do service unto his parents as to his master. Now, master just goes into teachers or one who have authority, right? Like, even in the terms of, let's say if you're still in your parents' house, let's say you're a teenager, still in your parents' house, right? And let's get it on both sides of the spectrum. Let's say on one side of the spectrum, you're a teenager in your parents' house and you're in the truth and they're not in the truth. It can be a difficult thing, but you have to use discretion, right? Now, you can't just go in. Your mom might be cooking pork, right? Your mom may have shrimp, crab, and lobster. You can't just come in and go to the deep freezer and throw it all away. That's not using wisdom, right? That's not honoring your mother and your father in the confines of their authority. You're still in a place where you're subservient to them in the midst of their authority, right? Now, by no means, if your mother or father are cooking those things, do you have to submit to their authority and eat them though, right? Hey, look, Mom, I'm not hungry tonight. Hey, they're cooking such and such and so forth and so on. According to the laws of the Most High God, we're not allowed to eat that. I can't force you to not eat it. I understand you're my mother and father, pops. I understand you're my pops. But you just don't have to cook anything for me tonight. And it's a way to go about these things in righteousness and in the spirit of meekness. So therefore, you can allow your stance to be known. You can stand on business, as they say, you can stand on business of righteousness. And furthermore, you can begin to show your light and still show that it's a respect and it's an honor thing according to righteousness. Now let's take the other phase. Let's say that your yeah, that let's say that wait, I went over. Your parents are not in the truth, but you're in their household. Now let's go into the opposite way. Let's say that you're in somebody else's household who's not necessarily your physical, your birth parents or whatnot, but they are in a position of authority. They're an elder over you. You have to use wisdom. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, you kicked out on the street and you're homeless. You don't have any place to go. But you didn't use wisdom. You weren't meek. You didn't weigh things in the balance of what's a fight to pick. Some things people say you just gotta let kind of go over your head. You gotta let pass. You follow what I'm saying? I have to show respect to your parents, right? For the blessing of the Father establishes, verse 8, honor thy father and mother both in word and deed, that a blessing may come upon thee from them. Now we have to remember that all praises to the Most High. Your parents birthed you, you didn't birth them. Really let that sink in. Doesn't matter what type of parent you have. Your mom might be an Edomite, right? Your mom might be, or your father may be a damn crackhead. Your mom might be a recovering alcoholic, and your parents might have just been horrible people and were never there for you. You might have grown up in a damn orphan. Who knows, right? You might have been sexually abused when you were little by your parents. Now, these type of situations get very touchy, right? Because if you did go through something like that, you can honor your mother and your father by staying away from it, right? Where you're like, look, you did these certain things to me. I'm calling you out on it, right? I'm not dealing with you on that. You don't want to hold that hatred in your heart. You want to still, Lord willing, be able to forgive them, but you don't have to deal with it. And that's the thing when it goes into honor and dishonor. You can honor somebody and love them at a distance, but you want to watch backbiting, slandering, and those type of things and those type of situations. And you want to ensure that as you're building your relationship with the Most High God, that you're falling back from the things that will get you out of the spirit. All right. So reading on. Glory not in the dishonor of thy father, for thy father's dishonor is no glory unto thee. Think about that. Hey, if you dishonoring your father, or if your father is in a low state, that's not something that you should boast of. Your father is a direct reflection of you in the sense of that's your bloodline, that's your family's name. You don't want to be you don't want to be honoring or glorying in your father being brought into a low state. Man, my father is a so-called Christian pastor, and that's a low estate, man. That's a low estate. But through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, I pick my battles. I try to let my walk talk. He knows what I stand on. Right? My mother is in Christianity. She knows what I stand on. Hey, she even dropped shalom here and there. So you want to be able to, Lord willing, stand as strong as you can and be that light, right? Want to be that light, okay? Glory not in the dishonor of thy father, for thy father's dishonor is no glory unto thee. The glory of a man is from the honor of his father, and a mother in dishonor is a reproach to the children. Think about that, man. Let's say your mom's out here prostituting. That's dishonor to you, your family's name. That brings a shame. So you don't want to do anything that's going to be shaming your mother and your father in that sense. Now, in terms of if they're breaking the law and they're not keeping the commandment, you definitely be contending for the faith and exhorting them and correcting them. But also, too, there is a balance in that, Every time you come over to the house, man, you don't want to just be just like a broken record, right? You have to have some grace. You have to be patient with them, Although we know it's a difficult thing because time is of the essence. you have to pray for that spirit of wisdom and knowledge, and pray the Most High guides you, to have patience with your father, and have patience with your mother. And this goes extended into your grandparents, right? Your great grandparents. So from that perspective, you definitely want to be patient with your parents, things of that nature. And look, my son, help thy father in his age, and grieve him not as long as he liveth. Now, these instructions also go into having the ability to, how do I say this? If you keeping the commandment, and if you're doing your best to align with the truth, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be able to reason with your parents, even in disagreement, right? Because you already have the wisdom to know that a lot of our parents are already turned over to a reprobate mind. And knowing that their understanding has fallen right now, be patient, right? And if his understanding fail, have patience with him, and despise him not when thou art in thy full strength. Coming into this truth could be a similitude of being in your full strength. Your parents, they're in the understanding of Christianity, of Islam, or whatever. Walakia. See, that's the spirit trying to make me tired, but I'm not even tired, right? Or whatever, whatever philosophy they may be in, they're lacking the understanding, right? This could also go into, you got to think your parents, and they took care of you when you were young, and they wiped your butt when you were young, and they fed you from, your mom probably fed you from the nipple. She breastfed you and she cared for you, So now that you're older, and now that you're in your full strength, you have your own so-called life and things of that nature, you don't want to neglect your parent. You want to try to take as much time as possible and to call and check on them. You want to, like I said, I'm actively working on this as well. So like, this lesson is not just for the edification of you, it's also for my own edification and reminder. Because I definitely don't call my father, and I don't go check on him as much as I should. And even my mother. I do more so my mother and my grandmother, all praise to the Most High lives with my mother, right? But a lot of times too, when our parents get older, it's becoming accustomed to just put them in nursing home. Kind of put them into the system. I call that the prison system. You're not really checking on them, you neglect them, and then next thing you know, they give up the ghost. And it's like, oh man, I wish I could have did more, could have done more. So you don't want to be in that particular position where all of this time goes by and you're doing everything else, you're not checking on your parents. All right. And if you don't know, you checking on your parents, being in this truth and building and forging that relationship, even if they did you wrong, right? Maybe the thing that brings them home. Think of how mighty that would be. If the Most High use you to raise up the spirit of righteousness in your parents, and for your parents to be brought into the truth. The Most High used you. How mighty would that be? How would that make you feel? Really think about that. No matter what type of parent you had, if they're Israelite, Lord willing, our hopes is that all Israel should be saved. All 12 tribes, right? And as many Israelites as possible. Because you never know who that 1/3 is. You never know who that 2/3 is, right? Reading on. For the relieving of thy father shall not be forgotten. And instead of sins, it shall be added to build thee up. So when you're building up and you're caring for your parents, not only is that blotting away sins, the Most High will also bless you and build you up. Think about that. In the day of thine affliction, it shall be remembered, and thy sins also shall melt away. as the ice in the fair warm weather. Think about that. How ice melts away on a 90-degree day. You don't even remember that the ice was there. And then the water, when it gets on the ground, evaporates. And the ground is dry. That's a similitude to how proper care and love of your parents can end up being a reward unto you. It can blot out transgression. The mercy of the Most High. My son, like that's it on that. I'm gonna get let me get this Exodus 20 and 12. Let's get the law. The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 12. And it reads, honor thy father and thy mother. Once again, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yahweh thy God giveth. You got to think, right? We always had elders in the land and elders in the community. So honoring your father and your mother is a very important thing to do, because it's literally going into your well-being, right? Your days can be extended by Shem Yahushua, or long on the earth, that can be your lot, just by honoring your father and your mother. Let's get Leviticus 19. Book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 3, and it reads, ye shall fear every man his mother and his father, and keep my Sabbaths. I am the Lord your God. Now peep this. One thing that's very interesting on this precept is that, let's say, you have a parent that's not in the truth, right? Let's say that you have a parent that's not in the truth. That parent that's not in the truth may tell you, look, I have such and such going on. It's the Sabbath, it's the Sabbath to you, but I need you to help. Come on over here and help your mother. Come on, your mother needs you to move these things. I'm doing so-called spring cleaning. I'm doing winter cleaning. Hey, I'm about to do whatever. I need you to come and help me. And it's the Sabbath. You may be like, hey, Mom, Dad, I can't do that. It's the Sabbath. Oh boy, this is the same Bible that told you to honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long on earth. I'll bring them to this precept right now. Yes, but there's a context to that, Mama. There's a context to that, Papa. There's a context to it. Leviticus 19 and 3 says, ye shall fear every man his mother and his father. What is that fear going into? And you should reverence. You should have respect. And keep my Sabbaths. I am Yahweh, your God. There's a hierarchy. This is clearly showing, like, look, Yahweh is the God of the mother, your father, and you. But your mama, your dad is telling you, you gotta honor them and come and do what they ask or request of you and break the Sabbath. But this precept says you gotta keep the Sabbath and honor your father and mother. So that means I can't honor my father and my mother by breaking the Sabbath. So that's why I love this precept for the spirit of our Yahweh. Let's get Deuteronomy 27 and 6. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 27 and 16, and it reads, cursed be he that setteth light by his father or his mother. And all the people shall say amen. Now, when you go into the setteth light, it means to think lightly of your mother or your father, right? To not give them reverence, to not give them honor, to not respect them. Basically, they treat them like they mother or father. And we see that with Esau a lot, how they treat their parents. Damn, smacking their mom, cussing their mom out. Murders. It's been I want to get this real quick. What is the rising murder rate of children killing their parents in America? It's a real thing. Murder in families, right? Let's see, the Bureau of Justice Statistics, murder in family, right? And this is old data. Let's see if we can get something a little more new. This is 1994, and we see murders by their parents are 1.9% by their own children. So this is data from 1994. Let's see if we can get something more updated, right? What we saw was like 1.5% then. Let's see. Matter of fact, there's no AI overview. See if we can get some data. Filicide, and that's parents killing their own children, which is off as well. Man, let me see, children killed by genetic parents or stepchildren. More murder of children killing their parents, not parents killing children. Let me see real quick. We can get some data. Statistics from the U.S. and other countries indicate that parricide, and they even got a term on it. I never even heard of this term. Parricide, the killing of a parent, is a rare phenomenon that accounts for only about 2 to 4% of all homicides. And overall numbers have remained relatively stable or even decreased slightly over the past few decades, even as overall homicide rates have fluctuated. So they don't have any direct statistics. I see in approximately 400 parricides. Oh, look, 400 parricides occur each year, with around 150 fathers and 100 mothers killed by their biological children. Most individuals who kill their parents are adult children over the age of 18. Juveniles under 18 account for a smaller proportion of these crimes. From 1976 to 2007 show the total number of parricide cases remained relatively stable, around 500 per year. Well, there you have it. It's called parricide. The killing of a parent is called parricide. So cursed be he that setteth light by his father or his mother, and all the people shall say amen. You got to understand, a part of our Hebraic culture, our Israelite culture, is honoring your father and your mother. You know, we don't have the spirit of a lot of these other nations who go into not giving a damn about their parents. And in fact, it's kind of odd, even as I say that in truth, because that's when we're in our right mind, in our right state of mind. A lot of times now, you know, you see the other nations kind of care for their parents. You know, obviously they put them in nursing homes and things of that nature. Let me see if I can see this. What is the statistics of different races putting parents in care homes? See if there's data on that. You know, Esau got data on everything. All right, look. Okay, look, statistics show that non-Hispanic white individuals are the predominant residents in care homes in the U.S., while blacks, Hispanics, and Asian individuals have lower rates of institutionalization, though these rates are rising. These disparities are influenced by a combination of socioeconomic, cultural, and systematic factors, rather than a simple difference in putting parents in decisions alone. Okay, we're saying that Edomites, you know, have more of a what they call an institutionalization rate of putting their parents in care homes. And I can see that. I think it may be a social economic thing, right? But we are seeing an increase of those things among our nation, right? Now we know the Northern Kingdom, man. All praise to the Most High. Shout out to the Most High for the spirit that He's put on the Northern Kingdom. A lot of our Northern Kingdom brothers and sisters, they definitely, you know, you see multi-generations in a household. So you normally see when a parent or a grandparent hits a certain age, that they're still in the household with the family, right? And we do see that as well in terms of a lot of Southern Kingdom as well. You know, I know my great grandmother, she lived until she was like, I believe, 102. All praises to the Most High. How about she now? She lived at home. You know, we didn't put her in a nursing home or anything of that nature. In fact, when I was younger, I never even really heard of a nursing home. You know, it was always been a part of our culture and the spirit for William and Jacob and Eve to care for their parents, right? Now these younger generations are kind of getting away from that. You know, they might not put their parents in a home, but they neglect their parents in their old age, right? So let's get back to it. I want to get Proverbs 20 and 20. Matter of fact, Salaki, I wanted to go into this set by light, either a set of light. It says, to be lightly esteemed or dishonored. So he who lightly esteems or dishonors his parents, look, it says, also held in contempt, to despise. Lightly esteemed, to set life, esteem vile. You don't want to be acting like your parents aren't worth a damn thing. You know, that's basically what it's going into. Right? Let's get to Proverbs 20 and 20, I believe. That's Proverbs 20. Yeah, that's Proverbs 20. The book of Proverbs, chapter 20 and verse 20, and it reads, whoso curseth his father or his mother, his lamp shall be put out in obscure darkness. Now, this is a twofold. It can go into spiritual darkness. The Most High can take your understanding from you, right? The Most High, or could plague you with sickness or death. So you don't want to be cursing your father or your mother, right? They did. What does it say in the book of? Is that I want to get this real quick. That's Sirach 7 and 28. It's the book of Sirach or Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 28. Remember that thou was begotten. Let me read up 27. Honor thy father with thy whole heart, and forget not the sorrows of thy mother. Now, honor thy father with thy whole heart. Let's go into that. How do you honor your father with your heart, with your mind? Consider your father in his old age. Consider the struggles, the sacrifices, and things that they made or went through for you, right? Now, if you didn't grow up with your father in your home, right, that may be one thing. You might not have grown up with your mother, but grew up with your father. You might have grown up with neither your father or your mother, but been raised by your grandparents, right? Who's ever in that context of that mother or that father figure, you know, you definitely want to remember all of the things that the Most High brought you through by way of their hand. And I'll say this too, even if you didn't grow up with your parents, that might have been a blessing in itself. You know, we know the Most High is in control of all things, right? Some of us who didn't grow up with one parent, or you might not have grown up in a situation where you felt that your parents showed you love. You know, you might have felt like your parents damn hated you. They beat you, abused you, misused you, mistreated you, right? You might not feel like you had certain, clothing, shelter. You know, you might have a lot of us, because we're in this captivity and because of the condition of our people, a lot of brothers and sisters grow up with hardship. Don't let that harden your heart and hold a grudge against your parents for those things. It might be different. You gotta forgive them. You have to forgive them. You don't have to forget, right? But you gotta forgive them. You don't want to be harboring that hate and that, you know, that, man, that'll eat you up. The spirit that can really overthrow you. It can overthrow your judgment, overthrow your emotions. It have you in a dark place, right? Let's move on. Get the it's like, and forget not the sorrows of thy mother. That's what I was going into, you know, and that sorrows, it even go into, man, the pain of birth, that labor, I was in labor with you. I think my mom was laboring with me for like 8 hours or 13 hours, something like that, you know? Now, when I was younger and I would hear that, I thought that meant she was literally trying to push me out for like 8 hours. Now that I'm older, you know, I don't think like a child. I understand that labor is, you know, from the water breaking to the, what is it called? I'm trying to say dilation of pupils. I mean, dilation. Maybe I think it is what it's called. I think it's called dilation. What's it called real quick? That got me wondering. Hold on. What's it called? Labor is dilation. It is dilation. All right. The cervix opening in labor is called dilation. You got to think about this. The cervix, the bone is closed at 0. It has to go to 10 to fully dilate it. It says the cervix spinning out and opening to allow the baby to pass through. And that's pain. You know, it goes back to when we go into get this real quick in Genesis real quick. 1 second. Where it was okay. It was even when Genesis 3:16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over. Right? So from this perspective, we want to focus on this right here. Sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, right? And I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. So when we go into that, honor thy father with thy whole heart and forget not the sorrows of thy mother. Amen. Don't forget that. You know, it's a lot of women too who have died in labor. You know, through birth complications and things of that nature. Hey, it's not always pretty. So all of that goes into what this is conveying in terms of honoring your mother and your father. Reading on. Sirach 7:28. Remember that thou was begotten of them, right? Remember that thou was begotten of them, and how canst thou recompense them the things that they have done for you? But you can't repay your parents. Now, it's all praises to the Most High, right? We saying that we're not elevating our parents over the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All glory, praises, and honor goes to Yahweh. Bahashim Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh, right? With that being stated, Yahweh allowed your parents to conceive you and for you to be born, and you can't repay them for that. No, even if your dad was a damn deadbeat, right? Your mom was a damn crack whore. Your dad was your mom is scum of the earth. You can't repay them for that birth, right? And I know a lot of people may say, "Why ain't ask them to be here?" Well, I mean, kind of. Irregardless, you here, brother. You here, sister. Life is a blessing. But you want to be able to be in that spirit of, really goes back to being in the spirit of appreciation and meekness, that the Most High allowed you to be born. Allowed you, man, I'm going to get this real quick. It even goes into this at Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nation. So even if you don't rock with your parents like that, you have to understand that it's the Most High who put you in the loins of your father, put you through conception in the womb of your mother, right? They were a chosen vessel for an appointed time that you could be brought to this plane of existence. You gotta respect that. You know, so you have to show your mother and your father honor, which goes into respect. You know, let's get Exodus 21:7. It's book of Exodus, chapter 21 and verse 17. And he that curseth his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. Think about that. Really think about that. Matter of fact, let me read that real quick. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, shall surely be put to death. Right? And he that smiteth his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. Now this smiteth goes into abuse, like hitting, right? Look, beat, cast forth, clap, to smite, nakal, to wound, go forward. Indeed, kill, make slaughter. I mean, you don't want to be a killing, what was it? A palicide, I think it was called. Is that what it was called? Parricide, I believe. Yeah, parricide. You don't want to be committing parricide. In the ancient world, you would just be straight put to death. Parricide. The killing of a parent by the hand of a child. All right? So, once again, reading on. And he that curseth his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. In the ancient world, man, in the law is not done away with. So the Most High can still put you to death for these things. All right? A person to be slight, swift, or trifling. Abate, make, bring into contempt, a curse. Despise, be easy. You don't want to be trifling with your parent. Get into this word in the English. Trifling. A thing of little value or importance. Trifling. So, you don't want to be treating your parents in a trifling manner. All right? Let's get Deuteronomy 21 and 18. Deuteronomy 21 and 18 through 21. And if a man have a stubborn or a rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father, or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastened him, will not hearken unto him. So it's correction. In this example, the child did not like correction. And you got to think about that. Like, you're a child, you don't like correction. Then shall the father and his mother lay hold of him, kind of grab him up, and bring him out unto the elders of the city, and unto the gate of his place. And they shall say unto the elders of his city, this our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and drunken. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones, that he die. So shall thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear. So it was showing you that we had a lower toleration, a lower toleration for disobedience and debauchery. Now we notice that just because your child was disobedient once or things of that nature, this is a high level of disrespect and disorder and not listening to the parent. And it was commanded that child will be put to death, right? So we see honoring your mother and your father is very, very important. All right, it's very important. So judgments came with not honoring your father and your mother. If we go to Matthew 15, we still see as well that this was what Christ was getting on the Pharisees about. But he answered and said unto them, why do ye also transgress the commandments of God by your tradition? For God commanded, saying, honor thy father and thy mother. We read that in Exodus, the 28th chapter, the 12th verse. He that curses father or mother, let him die the death. Right? We just read that in Exodus 21 and 17. But ye say, so hold on, the law says one thing. Look what the Pharisees do. Whosoever shall say to his father or his mother, it is a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me, and honor not his father or his mother, he shall be free. Thus have you made the commandment of God of none effect by your tradition. So the Pharisees was basically teaching, like, look, you don't got to honor your father and mother, but you can blot those transgressions out of not honoring your father and mother by just giving a gift to the temple. And that was literally going and cast the money in the treasury, right? That was their tradition. That was violating the laws of the Most High God. I'm gonna get this in another translation as well. One second. I'm gonna get this in another translation. I want to get it in AMPC, I believe. Bam. All right, look. Matthew 15 and 3 through 5 in the Amplified Classic Edition. He replied to them, and why also do you transgress and violate the commandment of God for the sake of the rules handed down to you by your forefathers the elders? Now we have to know that in this context, you had certain tribunals and councils like the Sanhedrin and certain elders who were teaching, which we call what they call now Jewish faith, right? Who was teaching traditions of men, saying, "Hey, look, I know the law says this, but my tradition says this." You follow me? For God commanded, honor your father and your mother. And he who curses or reviles or speaks evil or abuses or treats him improperly, his father or his mother. Let me zoom in on this. Let him surely come to his end by death. Now we just read that's what the law said in Exodus 21 and 17, Deuteronomy 21 and 18, Exodus 20 and 12, so forth and so on. But you say, if anyone tells his father or mother, what you would have gained from me, that is the money or whatever I have that I might be used for helping you, it's already dedicated as a gift to God, then he is exempt and no longer under obligation to honor and help his father or his mother. And this goes back into that Sirach, that 3 and 12 through 16, that was going into the caring of your parents, saying, look, if you were supposed to help your parents, it may have been food, it may have been raiment, it may have been things that on the physical level to their care, and you had the means to do it, they were making excuses, saying, look, I don't have to take care of my parents, I don't do such and such, because I already took that money that I was going to use to take care of my parents, I put it in the temple. Now, who knows if they're lying or not? I already made a sacrificial, I made an offering, a contribution. God, I ain't got to take care of my parents. That's wicked. And I'm led to believe a lot of them weren't even really making those financial or contributions to the treasury, to the temple of an offering. They just were utilizing that as an excuse because they didn't want to take care of their parents and honor this, right? So let me get back to this. I want to go to Ephesians 6 and 1. Ephesians 6 and 1. Book of Ephesians, chapter 6, 1 through 3. And it reads, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Now, sometimes people take this out of context, right? Now, you got to obey your parents in the Lord. This is going into parents that are walking according to the law, statutes, and commandments. You want to be, like, if you're a child, you don't want to be bucking up against your parent, trying to teach you right. Now, the other fold on this, though, even if your parents aren't in the truth, you still have to obey them. The line that you draw is when they're telling you or commanding you to do something that's breaking the laws of the Most High God. But you still have to be respectful. Now, right now, you might suffer for that. And your parents might then beat you. And you might be put on punishment. There's other consequences that might come with what we call those trials and tribulations. with your suffering and righteousness for the gospel's sake. Right? So even as a child, and the priest says even a child is known by their deeds, whether they are good or whether they're bad. Follow me? That reputation as well. Well, how much more are you building your treasures in heaven if you're persecuted even in your household for the sake of the gospel, right? Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise. And that promise is what? That it may be well with thee and thou mayest live long on the earth. That was the first commandment that had a direct promise for you. All right? Let's get Tobit 4 and 3. Let's get Tobit 4 and 3. The book of Tobit, chapter 4 and verse 3. And when he had called him, he said, my son, when I am dead, bury me, and despise not thy mother, but honor her all the days of thy life, and do that which shall please her, and grieve her not. Remember, my son, that she saw many dangers for thee when thou was in her womb, and when she is dead, bury her by me in one grave. So this is also going into showing that you got to honor your parents even when they die. Don't give them a proper burial, man. You know, make sure that their body is taken care of and preserved. You know, they're giving them a proper burial according to our customs, right? Which, from my research, you know, our customs don't go into cremation. Right? We see, I believe, one account that I can think of where it was a cremation. I had to put it up, but our custom that we see is to give them a proper burial. You know, and pay your respects to your parents. And even if you didn't have the best relationship with your parents, when they died, go to their funeral, you know, and pay your respects to them. So this is what's even being taught. And this even goes back to that where was we at? We was at that's Iraq. That was even going into and that's what we're in that Genesis, the 3rd chapter as well. But mothers went through a lot of pain. You know, a lot of people, I want to get this real quick. What's the rate of mothers dying in labor? It's a real thing. The CDC National Center for Health Statistics most recent report put out the U.S. maternal mortality rate. Oh, damn, I thought it said 32.9%. Is a whopping 32.9, so about 33 deaths every 100,000 births. 33 deaths every 100,000 births. So, you know, it's dangerous having a child in the womb. All different type of complications that can happen, that can occur. You know, high blood pressure, preeclampsia, right? Just all type of complications. You know, even after the child is born. You know, postpartum mortality, right? Let's see, what are postpartum mortality? Right, postpartum mortality is the death of a mother during or after childbirth from any pregnancy-related health issue or an existing condition aggravated by pregnancy. While in standard definition includes deaths also within 42 days of childbirth. Many experts now use a broader time frame for up to 1 year postpartum, as most deaths occur in the first week and a significant number happen much later. Key causes include cardiovascular disease, severe bleeding or hemorrhage, high blood pressure, hypertension, and mental health disorders. And look, they got a little chart right here. Pregnancy-related deaths. Look, 23% is mental health conditions. And I'm led to believe a lot of that goes into postpartum depression, they call it. Suicide, excessive bleeding, heart attacks, infection, thrombotic embolism. I'm not even sure what that is. Cardiomyopathy, hypertension disorder. I believe that goes into like blood pressure and things of that nature, you know, pre and post eclampsia and stuff like that. So, you know, there's a lot of different ways that your mother put her life in danger just to have you, right? So you got to have appreciation of that. You got to, you know, give your parents a proper burial. And a lot of our people nowadays, you know, don't have the proper life insurance and things of that nature. So you might have to keep that in mind. You might have to get life in burial insurance on your parents, and they may not have a what is it called, a death benefits plan, right? You got to do it in the right spirit. You know, wicked Jake gonna go take out a life insurance policy on their parents just to cash in when they die so they can ride a new whip. You know, it's not the spirit you want to be, right? Let's get Sirach 7:27. It says, the book of Sirach, chapter 7 and verse 27 through 28. Honor thy father with thy whole heart, and forget not the sorrows of thy mother. And we went over this earlier. Remember that thou was begotten of them, and how canst thou recompense them the things that were done for thee? So, you know, you want to honor your father and your mother. Get to 2 Samuel, 21st chapter, 12 through 14. 2 Samuel, chapter 21, 12 through 14. And David went and took the bones of Saul and the bones of Jonathan, his son, from the men of Jabesh Gilead, I believe that's how you say it, which had stolen them from the street of Bethshan, where the Philistines had hanged them, when the Philistines had slain Saul and Jeroboam. So David was righteous. He went and retrieved the bones of Saul and his son Jonathan. But the Most High God said that that Jonathan and David, right? He said that they had made, paraphrasing roughly, he had made their spirit as unto one. You know, so I got to get this priest up real quick. One second. Bam. 1 Samuel 18. And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. So you got to think about that, man. Jonathan loved David as his own soul. So David, being a righteous man, even when Jonathan's father, King Saul, who wanted to kill David, actually tried to kill David many times, you know, he still honored him as an elder with that burial. This even goes into your elders. It might be an uncle, it might be a grandmother, a grandfather, you know, it might be somebody else through the spirit who the Most High rose up to take care of you, right? And he brought upon from thence the bones of Saul and the bones of Jonathan his son, and they gathered the bones of them that were hanged, right? And we saw Tobit even doing this to the spirit. And the bones of Saul and Jonathan his son buried they in the country of Benjamin, is alive, in the sepulchre of Kish his father. And they performed all that the king commanded. And after that, God, Yahweh, was entreated for the land. He said, after that, because I was a righteous act, with the spirit of power, Yahweh Shem Shah. Let's get Genesis, 50th chapter. Book of Genesis, chapter 50. Verses 1 through 13. And Joseph fell upon his father's face and wept upon him and kissed him. And Joseph commanded his servants, the physicians, to embalm his father. And the physicians embalmed Israel. And 40 days were fulfilled for him. For so are fulfilled the days of those which are embalmed. I got to get more into this. Now, we know this embalmed and things, and this time we know that it was a big practice in ancient Egypt to embalm. I believe that probably was one of the early civilizations that was doing embalming. And the Egyptians mourned for him 10 days. That's not 40 days. But no. It's like 20, 40, 60. That's 70 days. And when the days of his mourning were past, Joseph spake unto the house of Pharaoh, saying, if now I have found grace in your eyes, speak, I pray you, in the ears of Pharaoh, saying, my father made me swear, saying, lo, I die, and my grave which I have digged for me in the land of Canaan, there shalt thou bury me. So with the oath, right, Joseph had sworn unto his father that he would bury him in the sepulchre in the land of his father, right, in the land of Canaan. Now therefore let me go up, I pray thee, because remember, this is before we have been given the land of Israel. This is before the exit of Egypt. Before the Exodus. I pray thee and bury my father, and I will come again. And Pharaoh said, go up and bury thy father, according as he had made thee swear. And Joseph went up to bury his father, and with him went up all the servants of Pharaoh, the elders of his house, and all the elders of the land of Egypt. It was a big thing for Joseph to honor his father with that proper burial. So this is even honoring his father post-mortem, I think that's called, right? After his death, right? And Joseph went up to bury his father, and all the house of Joseph and his brethren in his father's house, only their little ones and their flocks and their herds, they left in the land of Goshen. And there went up him both chariots and horsemen, and it was a very great company. You know, he had a big funeral. It's basically like a funeral. And they came to the threshing floor of O.F.I, which is beyond Jordan. And there they mourned with a great and very sore lamentation. And he made a mourning for his father 7 days. And when the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning in the floor of O.F.I, they said, this is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians. Wherefore the name of it was called Abel Mizraim, which is beyond Jordan. And his sons did unto him according as he commanded them. For his sons carried him into the land of Canaan, and buried him in the cave of the field of Mashpelah, which Abraham bought with the field, which Abraham bought with the field for a possession, and a burying place of Ephron the Hittite before Mamre. So we see it was a big thing to honor his father and to give his father that proper burial, right? And you got to, I'm gonna get this real quick because you got to even think about the priest, the Levitical priesthood, right? They couldn't even be defiled by anybody, by a dead body that wasn't their close kin or their immediate family. For Leviticus 21:1, and the Lord said unto Moses, speak unto the priests, the sons of Aaron, and say unto them, there shall none be defiled for the dead among his people, but he's except for his kin, that is near unto him, that is for his mother, and for his father, and for his son, and for his daughter, and for his brother, and for his sister a virgin that is nigh unto him, meaning not married, which hath had no husband. For her may he be defiled, but he shall not defile himself, being a chief man among his people, to profane himself. So we see chief couldn't even be, the Levites couldn't even be profane or defiled by reason of a dead body, unless it was their immediate family, including their mother and their father. So it even showing you the importance of honoring your mother and your father even after death and giving them that proper burial, right? Let me get Deuteronomy 5 and 6. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 5 and verse 16, and it reads, honor thy father and thy mother, as Yahweh thy God hath commanded, that thy days may be prolonged, and and that it may go well with thee in the land which the Lord Yahweh thy God giveth thee. So with that, just a reminder, honor your father, your mother, that your days may be long. I know, you might not have had the best relationship with them growing up. You might have felt underloved, but this is the time for you to be that light. This is the time for you to show that long suffering. Show them why you're in the truth. Be that loving, caring spirit. Or if you can't be reconciled into your parents in such a manner, where you have, where you've rekindled that relationship, love them at a distance. But honor your father and your mother. If you're growing up, you're in the truth, you're in a household where your family's not in the truth, do your best to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and also show respect to your family. But with that, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to the Most High God, Yahweh. We do so by Shema Mashiach, like Yahushua, in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahushua. Kwam Yeshua.